Have you ever walked into a room and felt the entire atmosphere shift before you even uttered a single word? Perhaps you noticed the conversation stutter for a fraction of a second or felt a sudden, inexplicable weight settle over the space. But the most jarring part is not the silence. It is the eyes. You look at people, offering a genuine smile or a simple nod, and you watch as their gaze darts to the floor, to their phone, or to a distant point on the wall. They cannot hold your gaze. It is as if there is an invisible barrier, a blinding light, or a silent frequency emanating from you that they simply cannot process. If you have been feeling like a ghost in your own life or an alien in a world that used to feel familiar, I need you to listen closely. You are not losing your social skills, and you are not becoming unlikable. What you are experiencing is the frequency gap. You are witnessing the physical manifestation of a spiritual upgrade that has made your presence a mirror for everyone you encounter. The reason they cannot look you in the eye is not because of who you are, but because of what you represent in their current vibration. To understand this phenomenon, we must look at the nature of light and shadow. Imagine you have spent your entire life living in a dimly lit room. Your eyes have adjusted to the shadows, and you have learned to navigate the space by touch and memory. You are comfortable there because nothing is ever fully exposed. Then, someone walks in and flips a high-intensity switch. In that first moment, you do not feel gratitude for the clarity. You feel pain. You squint, you cover your eyes, and you turn away because the sudden influx of light is more than your system can handle. This is exactly what happens when a chosen one enters a room of people who are still operating on the old, dense frequencies of the matrix. Your energy has become high voltage. You have spent months, perhaps years, in the laboratory of solitude, doing the heavy lifting of shadow work and soul integration. You have scrubbed away the layers of ego, pretense, and collective fear. As a result, your frequency has become incredibly sharp and clear. When you stand in front of someone who is still carrying heavy burdens of guilt, resentment, or unhealed trauma, your light acts as a floodlight on their hidden places. They look into your eyes and they do not just see you. They see the parts of themselves they are not yet ready to face. This is the mirror effect. A person who is living in alignment with their truth carries a specific kind of transparency. Because you have nothing to hide, you have no energetic armor. You are wide open. To a person who is living a life based on masks and societal expectations, this openness is terrifying. It is an evolutionary threat to the ego. Their subconscious mind recognizes that if they look too deeply into your eyes, the reflected light will pierce through their own mask. They are afraid that you can see through them, and in a way you can. You are not judging them, but your very existence is a reminder of the sovereignty they have forgotten they possess. Looking at you requires them to acknowledge the gap between who they are pretending to be and the magnitude of what a human being can actually become. Most people are not ready for that level of honesty, so they look away. They choose the safety of the floor or the distraction of a screen over the intensity of a soul-to-soul connection. You might have noticed that this eye contact avoidance is often accompanied by a strange kind of aggression or a sudden, awkward need to leave your presence. This is the nervous system's way of responding to a frequency it cannot categorize. Human beings are hardwired to seek resonance. When we interact with someone, our electromagnetic fields attempt to find a middle ground, a place where we can communicate without friction. But the gap between your frequency and the general population has become too wide for a bridge to form. You are like a high-definition signal trying to be played on an old analog television. The result is static, distortion, and eventually, a system crash. When people feel this internal static in your presence, their ego interprets it as discomfort or even a threat. They might label you as arrogant, weird, or intense. But these labels are just coping mechanisms. They are trying to find a reason why they feel so small or exposed in your company. If they can make you the problem, they don't have to address the vibration within themselves that is reacting to your light. Think of the lion in the savannah. A lion does not need to roar to prove its authority. It simply walks, and the entire ecosystem adjusts its position. The smaller animals do not look the lion in the eye, not because the lion is evil, but because the lion's presence carries a weight that demands a specific kind of respect and distance. You are developing that same kind of spiritual weight. This is what the ancients called the aura or the glory. It is a field of energy that has been cultivated through the fire of trials. Every time you chose to stay true to your path when it was easier to fold, every time you sat in the darkness and refused to give up, you added a layer of density to your spiritual presence. You are becoming a heavyweight in a world of feathers. When you walk into a room, your field moves before you do. It clears the space. It pushes against the stagnant air of mediocrity. This is why small talk often dies in your presence. You have no hook for it. You are vibrating at a level where only the truth can survive. One of the most painful parts of this transition is when the people avoiding your gaze are your own family members or long-term friends. You want to be seen by them. You want to feel that old sense of belonging where you could just sit and be understood. But as you look at them, you see a flicker of something that looks like fear or even resentment. They might pick fights over nothing or stop inviting you to events. This is the frequency separation in action. They are mourning the version of you that they could control or predict. That version of you was a caterpillar, crawling on the same ground they inhabit. Now you have wings. Even if you aren't flying yet, the very fact that you have the capacity to soar makes them uncomfortable with their own choice to stay on the ground. They cannot look you in the eye because your eyes now carry the horizon. They carry the vastness of the sky, and to those who are afraid of heights, that sight is paralyzing. You must realize that your eyes are becoming instruments of transmission. In many spiritual traditions, it is believed that the eyes are the windows through which the divine light enters the physical world. As a chosen one, you are a lighthouse. A lighthouse does not go out into the ocean to save the ships. It stays in its position and shines. Some ships will use that light to find their way home, while others will be blinded by it and turn away in a panic. You cannot control the reaction of the ship. Your only job is to keep the light burning. If people turn away, let them. Their departure is a sign that your light is working. It is a confirmation that you have reached a level of purity that the old world cannot tolerate. You are being refined to the point where only those who are equally committed to the truth can stand in your radius. This period of being unlooked at is actually a protection. The universe is shielding you from the lower vibrational hooks that used to drain your energy. In the past, you might have used eye contact to seek validation or to make sure everyone was happy with you. You were looking for yourself in the eyes of others. But now the universe has cut those cords. It is forcing you to find your validation from within the stillness of your own soul. When you no longer need anyone to look at you, you become truly powerful. You become a sovereign entity. You can walk through a crowd of thousands and remain perfectly centered because your worth is no longer tied to the social feedback loop. This is the initiation into the higher levels of leadership. A true leader can stand alone in the truth, even when the entire world is looking the other way. Do not mistake this isolation for a permanent state. This is just the calibration phase. As you become more comfortable with your own intensity, your energy will stabilize. You will learn how to dial your frequency up or down depending on the mission, though you will never again be able to go back to the dim light of your old life. And eventually, you will start to attract those who can look you in the eye. These will be your true peers. When you meet them, the connection will be instantaneous and electric. There will be no need for masks or small talk. You will look into their eyes and see the same fire, the same horizon, and the same hard-won wisdom. These are the people you are being prepared for, but that cosmic homecoming cannot happen until you have fully embraced the sovereignty of being the one who walks alone. So, the next time you feel the sting of someone looking away, or the weight of a silence that feels like a wall, I want you to stand a little taller. Take a deep breath and feel the high-voltage current moving through your spine. Smile to yourself, knowing that your frequency is doing the work that words never could. You are not a social failure. You are a spiritual success. You are the prototype of a new kind of human being, one who is built to carry the light of the divine into the dark corners of the earth. Wear your radiance without apology. Own the space you inhabit. And remember, the sun does not apologize for being too bright for those who choose to live in the shadows. It simply continues to shine, knowing that it is the source of all life. You are the light. You are the mirror. You are the project. The world might be turning away right now, but soon they will have no choice but to see the dawn you are bringing. Keep walking. Keep shining. The mist is clearing, and the new world is waiting for you to see it with your own unclouded eyes. Your journey is not about fitting into the rooms of the past. It is about building the halls of the future, where the light is the standard and every gaze is a homecoming. You are the chosen, and your eyes are the proof.